The moment of truth. No. Who would this be good on? Think we can get a quad roll? Think we can get it? 25% chance. Oh, we got it! Hey guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. Glad to have you all here with me today, talking some Raid Shadow Legends, sending some love and some positive vibes your way, especially if you need it out there today. Today we're gonna do something that we've never done on the channel before, right? We're gonna do some forging. That's exciting, right? Forging.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, I think that cleanses, generally speaking, I've always just, I don't want to say it's boring, but it's never been my favorite content on YouTube, frankly, from other channels. I've never done it here on the channel. But I started forging last night for my Clan vs. Clan tournament, and I thought to myself, what if we approached it a little bit differently, right? And I kind of wanted to give this warning for the, you know, the veterans, the OGs out there, the wonks of Raid Shadow Legends. It might not be the video for you, because what I want to do today is forge a bunch of perception gear. I have a little bit of lethal gear as well. So I'm gonna do some perception, some lethal. Maybe we'll do a righteous set or two as well. And I really just want to, more than just looking at the gear and saying, wow, it's great. I thought what we would do is really talk through what to look for in a good piece of gear, like in a good artifact. What do we look for substats and why? I don't think it should take super long. I don't think I need to farm, you know, 5,000 pieces to convey that to you guys. But the intention here is that some newer players, or even some people who've been playing for a little bit, but just haven't grasped, you know, the nuances of every stat and the synergy with the substats, maybe you can glean something out of it. So it's going to be a little bit slower, more methodical, talking about pieces of gear and kind of how I approach things from a forge in a well, farming standpoint to some extent as well. So let me know if you like this format and we'll do it again. If you don't, hey, let me know as well. All right, let's jump into it first with perception gear. I've said for a long time, I think perception gear, even to this day, is some of the strongest artifact sets inside the entire game, or one of the strongest artifact sets. You can make a case it's the strongest two-piece set. The beautiful thing about it is it's plentiful. All you need to do is farm your faction wars and some classic arena, and you're basically good to go. Faction wars and the magic steel from classic arena. It gives you 40 accuracy and 5% speed. Man, like what, 66% of the champions in the game need accuracy, one of the most important stats. And if you put 3 perception sets on a champion, 120 accuracy, it really alleviates the necessity to put an accuracy banner on a lot of champions. So that can free you up for a nuker, for example, to go with, you know, attack or more survivability and so on and so forth. It can free you up to build a little resist on a champion if you want to, right? So it gives you more options. And this game is all about that, options, flexibility, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and get to it here. I'm going to use my rank charm, my rarity charms. One thing on rank charms and rarity charms is I always buy them wherever they're sold. The bazaar, the clan shop. I'm always trying to get my hands on rank and rarity charms, and I'm specifically holding my rank and my rarity charms to use on perception, on lethal, on righteous, on the sets that I really want to use on my best champions on my account. Now on perception gear and righteous gear as well, I will use speed charms. In this case, I only have 42. Sounds like a lot, but it goes fast, so I'm not going to use them. But normally if I had a lot,
only live once. Let's do it.
Yeah, screw it. I'll use them. I basically never use my type charms. Yeah, I just don't think it's... I don't know. I will use some mythical charms. I have a lot saved up. So here we go. Hope we get some nice mythic gear here, right? So one thing to know about any artifact, we're starting out hot here, by the way. One thing to note about any artifact in this game is do not let rarity fool you into keeping a gear that you know you shouldn't keep, piece of gear, right? It's really, really important that we look at the stats and we assess the overall value. Sure, it is a factor, but I noticed on a lot of accounts that I did historically, just helping people out, kind of mini takeovers, I noticed that the higher you get in rarity gear, sometimes the lower you get in quality. And I think that speaks to this innate psychological factor in which we want to, you know, just keep something that seems more scarce, right? Even if it's not good. So we have a chest piece here. It's attack percentage, it has speed, it has crit damage. we're actually starting out with a banger, right? Because this is right on the borderline. Attack percentage on a chest with crit rate and crit damage, I'm definitely keeping the roll up. But even in this situation, seeing as it has speed and crit damage and accuracy and a little survivability percentage, not flat stat, I'm definitely going to keep this and see where our rolls go. If our rolls go to defense and accuracy, on my account, I'm probably gonna trash it. But on a lot of accounts, you might go ahead and still use this on a nuker, a damage dealer, even one of those kind of support damage dealers that you might wanna build for some damage. I don't know, like an Ulfrig I was just building, right? He requires accuracy. He is an attack-based champion who can deal a decent amount of damage as well. And the crit damage definitely helps. Survivability does too. So this is definitely a keeper, okay? Gauntlets, HP flat stat. I am not gonna factor in ore here because on my chaos ore, I generally save that for my special sets, like my stone skin and merciless, supersonic, etc. So we're gonna sell flat stat gauntlets, regardless of how attractive the substats are for the almost every scenario. Boots, we have a percentage boots and really juicy substats, right? So defense percentage, speed, some flat stats, and crit rate. Speed is a pretty good roll at 5 for a 5-star. The crit rate's a bad roll at 4 for a 5-star. For my account, definitely gonna sell this, right? For some niche situations, you may wanna roll it up, right? Who would be wearing this? It would be a defensive-based nuker, you know, provided we get a little crit rate there, a couple, maybe a 1 substat roll or 2. It would be a nuker that, you know, we're trying to get speed as an ascension stat, ideally. A defensive-based nuker, I should say, with speed as an ascension stat and speed as some roll-ups as well. So on my account, though, we're going to sell it because I'm not going to be using a 5-star for that particular use case. If it was 5-star speed with, you know, accuracy and HP percentage and crit rate or something like that, I would still roll it up. But this particular piece, no. I will say, though, if it was attack percentage instead of defense percentage, I would roll it up. Even a 5-star on my account, just to see if I got lucky with that crit rate, right? So I'm going to sell it for this video. Now look at this, another good one here. We're some good talking point pieces, I would say. Perception shield, speed and crit rate. Moreover, we got the good roll, 7%, the highest that we can get on crit rate. It's a rare, but it's pretty dang borderline, you know? I have a super endgame account, so generally speaking, I'm really trashing and selling every rare on my account, right? I'm playing for a long time. I would say that 95% of players would be keeping their hands on this bad boy and rolling it up. The nice thing about a rare is, one of the only nice things about a rare artifact is obviously we have a lot more of a say in terms of where the rolls, the substat rolls go. Both of our rolls up to level 8 are going to go either to speed or crit rate. So we know speed and crit rate, they're going to be the most valuable substats on this piece, and they're guaranteed to go to one of those two of those stats. I'll keep it and we'll roll it up just for the heck of it, right? Helmet, speed, accuracy, 6-star. We're going to keep that bad boy. I want to see if I get, you know, even an epic, if I get an epic 6-star with speed and accuracy, especially speed, I'm going to see if I can get a lucky trip roll on that, right? I know a lot of players out there. The reason I'm kind of belaboring the point here on this helmet is I know a lot of endgame players out there. They'll just trash every epic piece, right? If it's not legendary, they're not even going to waste their time with it. I still use some epics here or there on some of my best champions. And frankly, I'll still use an epic like this, especially if I get a trip speed roll. I'll use it on a champion somewhere, you know, maybe a cursed city area, something like that. So I will definitely keep that as well. We're actually doing really well because oftentimes you go in at this stage in the game, you go into a forge session, you're getting rid of almost everything. You know, you're not really keeping much. It's a 5-star piece here, attack percentage with no crit rate. I do have speed, but for my account, not going to be good. I'm going to sell it. But maybe a beginner might want to see if they can get some speed on that bad boy too, right? Because in a situation like this, if you're in progression mode on your account, an attack percentage is a main stat, could be on a damage dealer, obviously, right? And then you could put crit rate potentially there, right? There's no crit rate substats usually with attack percentage. We really want that crit rate too. Want to try to get to 100%. But hey, in this situation, it could still be usable on some accounts, just not mine. All right, accuracy with speed. If it was 6-star, okay, when we talk about resistance and accuracy on the chest, right? Especially perception and accuracy. Generally speaking, we're wearing perception gear because we do value accuracy on those champions. They get the 40 bonus accuracy from putting the 2-piece set on, right? And we value speed too, because it gives us speed on the substats of the perception set. However, where I am on my account, on the flat stats, accuracy and resistance, the ones that we'd actually entertain keeping, we really want them to be 6 stars, right? Because those counting stats, it's really valuable, the gap between 5 and 6. So for me, it's not worth keeping this chest. For a lot of players, it's absolutely worth keeping and rolling up and seeing if you get. For me, I would see if I get, for a mid-game player, right? Like not someone just starting out, but mid-game, I would want probably 2 speed rolls to be able to keep it, right? I'm a big believer in the idea of set a high threshold of what is acceptable to keep on your account, right? Because I've gone into so many accounts and seen their inventory at capacity, and they'll even complain, my inventory is always full. And it's like, dude, all your gear sucks. Like, why do you keep all these artifacts, So I really challenge players to maintain and hold themselves accountable to a pretty high, baseline standard. And more importantly, always kind of evolve that standard, right? You want to, as you progress, as you get more champions, as you can clear more stages and get better gear, you should also be bringing that floor level in terms of what is an acceptable artifact to keep on your account up. Check out this, guys. This is the best case scenario for a perception shield on a nuker. I mean, other than not being a legendary or 6 stars, but for me, even on my account, I'm keeping this bad boy, right? I might have a 4-piece savage set or a 4-piece lethal set, or heck, maybe I have 2 cruel sets or something like that. And I want a little bit of accuracy on a damage dealer. Well, these are the exact substats I'd be looking for, right? Even better if the last stat is attack percentage, right? But yeah, crit rate, crit damage, and speed is definitely a keeper, right? That's perfect for a nuker. Speed, crit rate, attack percentage. This is crazy. These are actually really good pieces here. I'm going to keep this. This is 6-star. It's even better. Speed, crit rate, attack percentage. Perfect helmet for a nuker as well. And then we have some mythical boots. What a bummer. This is crazy too, because holy moly, those substats are juicy. The real issue is obviously that main stat is 600. Check that out though. Speed, crit rate, crit damage, and attack. Oh man, I would love to put these on a nuker if it was not HP flat stat. If it was speed as a main stat, or attack percentage as a main stat, defense percentage as a main stat, HP percentage as a main stat, I would keep it in all of those scenarios. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to sell. All right, but the fact that we just don't be thrown off, by the way, I kept 5 of those pieces. That doesn't mean I'm going to keep 5 of those pieces. It means they've made it on to the next stage of Ash's Forge. And the next stage of Ash's Forge actually takes place inside our inventory. And that's where we roll those pieces up and make the final decision on whether or not we want to keep them, right? Let's go ahead and do another batch. I told you I was going to go slow. I'm going really slow. But again, I thought it'd be more useful to really talk these out versus to go super fast. I hope some of you guys like it. And I'm open to your constructive feedback as well. Defense percentage with crit rate, 5-star. I'm going to sell it. If there was speed there instead of attack, for example, or instead of resistance, I might roll it up a bit and see. It's a good defensive. It's a decent defensive percentage for a defensive-based damage dealer with a crit rate, especially if we can get lucky and get some rolls on that. But I'm going to sell it. We have a 5-star weapon here. Speed, crit damage, accuracy. It's not good enough for me to keep a 5-star. If it was speed, crit rate, crit damage, kind of like we saw in the previous batch, I would keep it and roll it up and see what happened and make a decision after that. But for me, not worth it. For your average player, maybe a few months in, a year in, it would be worth holding on to this and rolling up to see if you can get speed, right? Again, a double speed roll, two rolls on speed, 1 roll on accuracy here. Absolutely worth keeping. Again, the 2 most important stats that we're looking for on perception are going to mimic what the set bonus is. Accuracy and the speed. we have speed and accuracy. So who are we going to put these on? What kind of champion? A champion that we want to be fast and have a lot of accuracy. So for the majority of players, I would say, and for me, you know, a couple years ago, I would definitely hold on to this and roll it up and see where it went. Now, if I was to roll it up and it was crit damage, you know, 2 on crit damage, 1 on accuracy, I would sell it, even as a progression player in that case. Really looking for speed. Speed is king in Raid Shadow Legends. Speed is king. All right, so let's sell it. All right, next we have a helmet. Speed, accuracy, defense. Again, everything I just said about the weapon we just sold applies to this. If I was a new progression player, still working on clearing my hard dungeons, I would see if I could get a speed roll or accuracy roll. It doesn't guarantee that I would keep it, but it does. I would see. I like to experiment. I like to know what I'm throwing away, man. I don't mind. You know, there's different types of temperaments in this game when it comes to artifacts. One temperament is I'm not wasting silver on something that I think is unlikely to be good.
You gotta spend money to make money, right?
That's not me. The other temperament is I don't mind spending a little silver to stay to level 8 to level 12 maybe to see where the rolls go and then make a more educated decision at the cost of losing some silver in aggregate overall, right? I'm in that camp. I don't think either is right or wrong, by the way. It's just that's how I play the game. This one's a little bit better, a 6-star with speed and accuracy. So this is exactly speaking to what I was just talking about, right? I think most players at my level in the game would just trash this immediately, I think. But me, I want to see, it has speed and accuracy on a speed and accuracy set. I want to see where those rolls go, so I will keep it. Defense percentage, 6-star. Speed, I'm keeping it. The other substats kind of suck. Crit damage and defense, flat stats okay on a defense main stat. I'm keeping it though. Ascension is everything in this game in terms of like the power creep potential that it brought to the game. So defense percentage, you know, I could get more defense. I could get HP percentage in addition to this as an Ascension stat, right? And if I roll double speed on this, I'll keep it. If I roll single speed, I'll trash it. We will roll all these up though, and towards this back half of the video. It's not going to be that much longer, I swear.
That's a lie.
Let's keep it for now. All right. Attack with crit rate and HP percentage. No, I'm looking for, even as a progression player, personally, I would want some speed there with the crit rate. Just crit rate is not enough for me to keep it. So we'll sell it. What were these boots again? Oh, sell those. Flat stat boots, we're going to sell them. Keep that. And a weapon. Speed, crit rate, 5-star. Let's just see where the rolls go. Let's keep it. All right, let's do one more. Actually, let's switch. I think you guys got the gist of perception, right? I'm going to keep the video moving a little bit. Lord knows I'm not helping. So let's go lethal. Let's go rank and rarity. This time, instead of going speed, we're obviously going to go with crit rate charm, right? You could also use crit damage charm if you wanted to. But again, who's going to be wearing a lethal set? A damage dealer. So some of my damage dealers are HP based, like a Taurus or a Narcissus or Eric's. Some of my damage dealers are attack based, like a Siegfried, a Nutcracker, or Leo. Some of my damage dealers are defense based, like a Solus or a Ragash, somebody like that, right? So I'm not going to go with any of those stats. That's why you can see I have like 1,000 attack charms. Instead, I'm going to go with what all of them need, crit rate. So let's craft it. Oops, I forgot my mythicals. Darn it. All right, so what do we have here? Let's just rip the Band-Aid off, Ash. Crit rate, accuracy, defense. Keep it. Speed, resist. Sell it. Accuracy and total trash. Again, legendary, awesome. The bad news is I don't want any of this baloney at all, right? I want crit rate, crit damage, speed, you know? So let's sell that. I will say that legendary weapons, helmets, and shields from a lethal set, because lethal is so in desire in this game, like so desirable for any damage dealer. If you're sitting on like mounds of chaos ore, it might be worth rolling or recasting, I should say, maybe an epic 6-star piece if you have a ton of it in a lethal set, just because, you know, Dark Fate rotations only come around so often and there's kind of hard to get your hands on this gear. So I could totally understand keeping and recasting a piece of gear with chaos ore just to see if you can get better luck on the substats. I don't like recasting gauntlets, chest pieces, and boots because the chances of getting a flat stat are high, you know, and that's a waste to me of chaos ore. I've done it. I've been tempted to do it, and I have done it sometimes, but I think as a general rule, I try to stay away from that. So this is actually an example of something that might be worth recasting if you have 5-star Chaos Ore just piling up on your account, right? Because it's lethal, you know, it's not that valuable, not like a mythical Chaos Ore or anything like that, but we're just going to sell it. Helmet, crit rate, crit damage, great, but the crit rate roll is, it can be 4 to 6, you know, on 5-star. And if it was 6, maybe it might worth entertaining. It might be worth entertaining, leveling it up on a progression account, but either way, it's not going to be worth it on my account. Again, we try to stay totally clear of rare gear. Attack flat stat, we do have crit rate, crit damage, awesome, but attack flat stat we're not going to use. Crit damage with no crit rate. I mean, crit damage gauntlets are awesome and lethal, but we really want crit rate, at least speed, you know, but we have neither of those, so we're going to sell, unfortunately. All right, crit damage, accuracy, no speed, no crit rate, easy sell for me. No crit rate, easy sell. So we'll collect that. We'll do one more batch. Again, with lethal, we're thinking about damage dealers, nukers, you know. Of course, you can wear it on some supports, you know, but it's not the typical use case. Attack percentage with accuracy, crit rate, crit damage. Attack percentage is generally only used on bomb champions, on gauntlets, right? Because we want like a Nishak Vermin Lord, right? But lethal is not very common. Nishak can benefit from lethal because he actually, you know, packs a heavy punch as well. But it's not, we're looking for speed and accuracy, right? The equation changes a little bit. Crit rate, speed, accuracy, but speed primarily. So we're definitely not going to keep these. All right, we have attack percent. Oh, this is a keeper. This is a really good artifact. It's a little bit more skewed to the end game good artifact, but it's attack percentage in a lethal set with crit rate and speed. We have attack flat stat, but still, you know, not bad for an attack-based nuker. And who knows, we can get speed as an ascension stat or attack percentage as an ascension stat. We're definitely going to keep that, and we're going to, with that juicy 7% crit rate, we're going to hope that the rolls go into crit rate and speed. So absolute keep. Really nice boots there. I mean, they're potential to be really nice boots. We don't know yet. Defense percentage, 5-star with crit rate. Just because it's lethal and it's skier, even though I probably shouldn't, I am going to see if I can get a trip roll on crit rate. The only way I would keep this is if I get a trip roll on crit rate to put on a defensive based nuker. All right, crit rate, crit damage. Again, new player, starting out progression player would absolutely roll this, and maybe a double roll crit rate. You could absolutely use this. It wouldn't be your best piece or anything like that, but you could use it. But for me, not going to use it. All right, that's a sell. No crit rate, no crit damage, or there was crit damage, but no speed. Crit rate with nothing else extremely valuable, 5-star. The difference between 5-star and 6-star is very significant, even on weapons, helmets, and shields, right? So, yeah, we're going to sell it. We're going to sell it. Just crit rate is not enough. This is another perfect example of a really solid rare artifact, even at 5 stars, for a progression account, right? And I keep saying progression. I hope that you guys know what I'm talking about, like if that applies to you or not, right? It's not going to be an end game piece, this shield, but it could be a very useful piece for a lot of accounts. Even 1 roll on crit rate, 1 roll on speed. Maybe we're rocking, you know, 9 speed and 11 crit rate. You could absolutely use that, right? But we're going to sell it because of the status of the account. Just crit rate, not going to be enough. Certainly not on a rare piece. Attack percentage with crit rate, we're going to roll that up to see if we can get a crit rate, or maybe 2 crit rates and 1 crit damage. And then we can root for speed and keep using our Chaos Ore or whatever not Chaos Ore, what is the stuff called? The powder? I'm sorry. We can keep using the powder to get an Ascension speed to mitigate the fact there's no speed substats. But who knows? Speed might be the 4th stat. So we actually are sitting on 2 really, you know, decent prayers at a really nice boots for our account, right? And then last but not least, flat stat, we'll sell it. All right, so let's collect those bad boys, and let's do Righteous. We don't have much, but Righteous gear is very, very good. Let's do some speed charms. Oh man, we can only do a few here. You know what, guys? Speed crit rate. Again, on my account, I'm not keeping it, even though on most accounts would definitely roll this up. But we're gonna sell it. You know what I think might be valuable? We've been talking about perception for kind of supports, debuffers, yada, 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 control, lethal for nukers. Let's do bolster. That way we can kind of talk about maybe a tankier champion, right? So we will go with HP percentage charm, right? And I can't believe I did all that lethal and I still didn't do the mythical. Want to use those mythical charms, especially on lethal gear, right? Because lethal gear only comes around every so often, like we just mentioned. Bolster, we'll go use some mythical here. Just gonna do one batch of bolster, then we're gonna roll it all up, and hopefully you guys were able to take something away from today's video. Please, again, let me know if you found any of this stuff helpful. I'm happy to do more content like this for sure. Accuracy on bolster. Who's gonna be wearing a bolster set? A champion that we want to have a protected shield, to heal based on their 10% of their HP every turn. So basically a super tanky, high HP champion, like a Marichka, a Nekret the Great, a Vogoth, somebody like that, you know? Let's sell. So we don't want accuracy as a main stat. We're really never gonna have somebody in a bolster set with an accuracy chest on, because we really want HP percentage from the chest of somebody in a bolster set, right? Ideally, we want HP percentage on the chest, HP percentage on the gauntlets, and maybe even HP percentage on the boots too, but that's a little bit more specific to where you are in the game and what you're trying to do. Anyway, let's sell that. HP percentage in speed, 90% of progression players would absolutely keep this, right? If you're gonna keep any rare bolster piece, this would be the piece. We want HP percentage, and we have the highest percentage roll at 7%. Not roll, excuse me, but base percentage stat. And then speed, 5 speed too, that's solid as well. My account, again, I'm really not rocking rare bolster gear at this stage of the account, so we'll sell it. All right, boots. Speed? What about speed boots that are rare? Ash, you want to keep those? No, I don't want to keep those either. If this was a rare 6-star boots with HP percentage and accuracy, I'd probably keep that. I'd probably keep that and throw it on kind of a utility champion that I don't use in any of my main areas of content that I'm trying to push. Like I wouldn't use it in Hydra. I wouldn't use it in trying to speed farm a Fire Knight 10 team. I wouldn't use it in live arena, but I would absolutely use it on like an epic champion that I'm trying to clear content in Curse City or something like that. But because it's 5 stars, we're gonna sell it. All right, we have a mythical helmet, ladies and gentlemen. We do get that HP percentage, but no speed, nothing else super attractive. I'm gonna sell it, right? The resistance I don't mind, right? Because a lot of times I find myself putting cleansers oftentimes in bolster sets. Bolster isn't meta right now, by the way, in PvP, but it's still very usable everywhere in the game, right? Especially PvE content. I will say though, I'm looking for HP percentage, resistance. I put it on like a Python, at times. I already mentioned Marichka, and they have cleanses too. So ideally, they'd be resisting everything and then taking care of everybody else while also healing themselves vis-a-vis the set, yada, yada, yada. So I don't mind the resist, but maybe a defense percentage, a little bit more tankiness, Obviously, speed would be ideal as well. So definitely selling that, even though it's a mythical. Speed, HP percentage, I will keep this rolled up. Now, this is more like it, right? It's only 5-star, which is the downside. But HP percentage, speed, and defense percentage, yeah, let's keep it and see what happens. And then let's sell this. Again, a lot of players would probably keep that for progression, for early game. HP flat stat will sell. HP flat stat will sell. And speed, accuracy, attack percentage, not bad, 5-star. Not really what I'm looking for. I'm still looking for that HP percentage. You could definitely make an argument that a lot of players would keep it and see if they could roll a trip speed on that. But, for time purposes and the fact that it's a 5-star, we're going to go ahead and sell it. So let's go ahead and see what we got here, guys. So this is our bounty. We do have some random gear mixed in, but let's just go to the stuff that we just forged, right? Okay, so let me get myself so I'm not blocking everything over here. There we go. That's better. All right, so here are the perception gauntlets, the crit damage with the crit rate, excuse me. These were really freaking juicy, man. Wait, did I get this last night or did I get this today? I farmed one batch last night. Who cares when we got it, right? Those are really good rolls. really good rolls. Double speed, crit. Let's see if we get Ascension. Sorry, guys. As attack flat stat, we're going to keep I'm going to make this the perfect freaking gauntlets. Crit rate, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. So I'm really rooting for speed as my last stat. I'll take crit rate, but I want speed. And we get accuracy. Either way, it's a really, really nice gauntlets here, guys. Why? Well, they're going to go on a nuker, obviously, right? I get a lot of speed here. I get some accuracy, which a lot of nukers want. And then I get some crit rate as well. I also have attack percentage. They're really good. And then I'm not going to use all my Ascension oils right now.
I don't see any problem.
I have a decent amount saved up, but this freaking greater oil, I'm always running low on. Always greater oil. But I will absolutely roll the crit rate up. So, you know, we're going to be rocking. These are going to be really good when they're done with. But wait 1 second here. Crit damage. This is last night's, I think. This is last night's. All right, let me make room. I'll come back and we'll deal with what we actually just forged. Hey guys, quick interlude. So all the forged stuff just went to my inbox, so I'm just clearing space. I just got a trip roll on this Divine Speed helmet. Think we can get a quad roll? Think we can get it? 25% chance. Oh, we got it! We got it! Oh, we get the quad roll Divine Speed. Hey, I'm glad I recorded that. That's pretty cool. All right, guys, now we have the 16 pieces that we just, you know, filtered out from our forge. I still can't believe I got that quad roll. That was really cool. All right, let's go with the bolster stuff first, right? Let's go in reverse order. It's fresh in your mind. So I always take stuff to level 8 first. See where the rolls go, and then I make a decision if I want to go to 12, right? Don't go all the way to 12. Certainly don't go all the way to 16. Okay. So we got a double speed roll there. Hell yeah. By the way, the only time I will ever whale out to 16, and it's still not a good idea, but the only time I'll ever do it is if I get a mythical with the mythical boosted stat being speed. That's the only time I'll do it. Anyway, hey, we got a double. What did I say about this piece? If I got a triple speed or whatever, a quad speed, I'll keep it. Otherwise, I'll trash it. We just got 2 right there. Okay? So now it's the moment of truth. What would you guys do? Would you take it to 16 right now? Would you keep it for later? Would you trash it? With me, it's kind of borderline. It's borderline between trashing it and keeping it for later. Normally, I wouldn't just take to 16 unless it's clan versus clan and we're in a tight race. Hey, it just so happens to be clan versus clan and we're in a tight race. So I'm going to do it for my clan. Do as I say, not as I do. So what do we think about this bolster shield when all said and done? Well, we have speed, HP percentage, defense percentage, accuracy. I've already invested $1 million or $2 million silver into it. I'm going to keep it even on my account. It's going to be a hand-me-down, though. It's not going to be on any of my main bolster champions. Okay, so, hey, why did I keep this bad boy? That's weird. I thought it was defense percentage maybe earlier. We're going to sell it. All right, we're on to the lethal, guys. So I'm hoping to walk away with, you know, at least a couple good pieces. I took it to level 8, nothing on crit rate, 1 crit damage. I'm curious, so I'll take it to 12, but I think it's a pretty safe bet that we can trash it right now. Even with the crit rate, we're still going to trash it right now. That's why we're just paying some curious points right there. But no, I would say some accounts might be able to use this, especially on an HP-based nuker, because we have HP percentage, crit rate, and crit damage. But it's one of those pieces that you can kind of, this is the danger you get into with artifacts, and this is how your storage gets chock full, and you're always working off your inbox like yours truly, right? Is you talk yourself into pieces innately. You're like, yeah, you know what? I think I could probably use that. I could probably use that, right? No. So here, level 8, nothing on crit rate. It's an easy sell. Easy sell. I don't even know why I really kept that one, right? Now we get, I'm gonna wait till the end for these lethal boots. That'll be the last one, because that's the piece of gear I think I'm most excited about overall. Attack percentage with a roll everywhere. Let's see what our ascension stat is, right? Attack flat stat. Ah, man. This is a tough one, but I'm going to trash it. It's a bummer. But for me to put attack percentage boots instead of speed on a nuker, I really want something very special, right? I want more than this. I want speed instead of defense. If that was speed, I would keep it, right? But it's just not good enough for my account, so we're going to trash it. All right, defense percentage. What am I looking for here? 2 rolls to crit rate, otherwise going into the bin. 1 roll to crit rate, 1 to crit damage. Can we get the 2 to crit rate? No. 2 to crit damage, not enough, especially as a 5-star into the bin. All right. On to the perception. All right, so level 8. What do we get for speed? Crit rate. That's exactly where I want the rolls to go. So let's see if we can continue our luck with another speed here. We get another crit rate. This is worth keeping to me, even on my account. Again, this is probably not going to go on a main damage dealer or anything like that, but it's a nice kind of filler for a 2-piece perception on a damage dealer who I also want to have some accuracy with the double crit rate and the speed and the inherent 40 accuracy from the set. So we'll keep it. Not the best piece, but we'll keep it. All right. We have a speed and accuracy on a 6-star helmet. If the next roll goes to speed, we'll keep it. If it goes anywhere else, we'll trash it. And it goes to accuracy. That's a lot of accuracy. Am I a man of my word? Hell no, I'm not a man of my word. And this is the danger, though. You kind of talk yourself into keeping gear. But who would this be good on? Like a Madame Ceres, maybe? You know? Somebody who we need somewhat fast, can sacrifice maybe a little bit of speed, but we really need to max out accuracy. Who else will we put this on? Maybe a lockout champion, right? Ideally, we'd have a 2 speed and 1 accuracy, but you need a lot of accuracy on those champions. A Basher, a Lika. Probably not. If you're rocking a Crixia, you're probably not putting this on her, but you guys get the point. All right, let's go to the next one here. Speed, crit rate, attack percentage. Perfect for a nuker. 1 roll on crit rate. Let's see where it goes. 2 rolls on crit rate. Perception, not a lot of speed, but we have the attack percentage. Who does this go good on? A damage dealer, a nuker. 18% crit rate with 12% attack is really solid. We'll keep it. All right. We have speed and defense percentage. If we get speed, we'll keep it. If not, we'll trash it. We don't get it, we're trashing it. I will note though, 6-star helmet with speed, accuracy, defense percentage. I think most accounts could use this piece. So trying to notate here when it's just end game versus how did this guy sneak through? Easy sell. Easy sell. This one I was just curious about. So level 8, let's see what we get here. Level 8, 1 and 1. Most accounts, they're definitely going to keep this, right? It's fine, right? It's fine for a damage dealer. But for my account, as I said, kind of not going with rares, but I want to roll it up just because I do think it applies for most accounts. This one, we have a 5-star. Crit rate, crit damage, speed. Again, nuker material here. For my account, I'm not going to keep it at this point, right? It would have to be a juicy trip speed, maybe a trip crit rate for me to keep it. By the way, why do I value a trip crit rate or a trip speed over a 1 roll on speed and 1 roll on crit rate and 1 roll on crit damage? Isn't it the same, basically? You're getting all juicy stats that you value, Ash. Well, the way I look at the trip rolls, right, and the quad rolls even better that we saw earlier is, and this is just my philosophy, and I'm open to your feedback too. The way I look at it is having 1, let's just say quad crit rate, right? 31% crit rate from 1 piece. That gives you such a luxury. You put that piece on, I'll have like 5 speed or something from this. In this case, it's not going to be 31%, but let's say 21% crit rate, right? Getting all that crit rate from 1 piece gives you a massive alleviation of the burden to find all that crit rate elsewhere. So then you can really, it can change the way that you tackle everything else about the build on a champion, right? You can basically say, hey, now I can take, remember how we forged that attack percentage, lethal gear or whatever it was, perception gear with no crit rate but with speed? It gives you the luxury to get a trip speed on attack percentage. And when you have the stats, the rolls just 1 here, 1 there, 1 there, like it can still work, absolutely. But it becomes harder to kind of take advantages of those positive imbalances. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Anyway, let's sell it. All right, we have attack percentage. This is exactly the one I was talking about right here. Attack percentage with no crit rate. So what if we get 2 crit damage and 1 speed rolls, right? That would pair beautifully with a trip speed, whatever, a trip speed, crit rate somewhere else, right? They'd kind of complement each other pretty well. Attack percentage with crit damage, accuracy, and speed. Hey, we're in a CVC, let's go for it. Normally I would not max this out. Get another accuracy. It's worth keeping because of the sunk cost fallacy. Defense percentage here. Let's see what we get. Defense percentage with 2 defense flat stats and 1 crit damage. It's a bummer. We were really hoping for 3 speed, or at least 2 speed substats there. So that's going to be a sell. Now what would I do? Well, anything that I absolutely want to use right away? Not really, but this one's totally maxed out. So I want to send it just 1 ascension just to see what else we get. Hey, this chess piece that we were kind of poo-pooing earlier on our account, who would this be perfect on? It'd be perfect on a damage dealer that's not our main damage dealer. So again, I'm gonna go back to Ulfric, right? A damage dealer who needs a lot of accuracy, right? Maybe a Deacon Armstrong is a better example. This would be the perfect chess for a Deke. Why? Because we can still throw a crit rate on the gauntlets if we need to, right? We get some speed, we get a ton of accuracy with accuracy ascension stats as well, and some crit damage to help supplement the fact that we have crit rate on the gauntlets. Even better, we can go for crit damage as an ascension stat on the crit rate gauntlets, and we have a beautiful pairing of 2 artifacts here for a champion like him. All right, guys, the moment of truth. Here we go. I'm gonna go 4 levels at a time. Yeah, we didn't want that. 8, nothing, no. Ah, we didn't want that either, damn it. 12, come on, man. Speed 16, where are we gonna go? Crit rate, give me crit. Ascension is speed. All right, let's see if we can get lucky. We get speed. All right, we're gonna keep it because of sunk cost. No, we're gonna keep it. How do I feel about these? How do you feel about these rolls, guys? We were hoping for at least 1 roll on crit rate, right? Good thing about lethal gear though is you get the inherent, 15% crit rate just as part of the set bonus, right? So at least we have that, or 10%, I'm sorry, crit rate. So we have the 10% crit rate. So if we factor that in, which is unfair to do, we're rocking 17% crit rate, right? I could definitely use this, and I will use this on a nuker. It's just not going to be like my main nuker anymore, and it had the potential to be like a Trunda or a Sigfrind. Those are the attack-based nukers who I'm using the most on my account right now. It had potential to be their new boots, right? Unfortunately, kind of missed the mark there, but heck, having this survivability, plus all this speed that we're gonna get from Ascension, plus this, plus glyphs too, it's still gonna be pretty solid boots to have on an attack-based nuker, and God knows, there's a million attack-based nukers out there that are worth using, right? I was looking to rebuild Little Miss Annie, for example, last night. So this would be perfect for somebody like her, who I'm not using in PvP, but can definitely help me out in PvE. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this video useful. It's something a little bit new here on the channel. I guess that's going to do it, though, for the video. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.